Hey guys, it's Jade Konkel-Roberts and this is the final whistle.
And welcome back to the final whistle, brought to you by the Rugby Connection podcast. Now, our next guest, it has been about a year in the making trying to get her on the show. 56 caps for Scotland. She was actually Scotland's first full-time academy player way back in 2016. She was at the World Cup, and she's also a firefighter for London Fire Brigade in her spare time, on top of being an amazing world-class rugby player. It's Jade Konkel-Roberts. Jade, thank you so much for coming on. How are you getting on?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Getting on well, busy as always, but glad I could finally be here. It's been a long time coming, so no, glad we could finally get a date sorted, which is good.
I think when we first, we'd love to have you on the show, last year's Six Nations hadn't started. And since then, obviously, we've had the Six Nations, we've had the summer tour, we've had a World Cup, and we're just about to go for this year's Six Nations. So it was worth the wait. It was all good.
Hopefully.
Definitely. We've already broke down the friendship barrier because we've kept in contact, and I think I already said to you then, but congratulations on the wedding. And I don't know if have you had your honeymoon yet?
No, not yet. Of course not.
No question.
Hopefully going to get away this summer, but TBC.
Fingers crossed. Just even a nice little week.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That's what
No
we're going to try for.
No fires, no rugby.
Just a beach or a pool or some good food. I'm okay with that.
I'd chuck all of it in just because you've been working too hard. So there you go. First question that we ask all our guests, just to get the ball rolling. What actually got you into rugby in the first place?
So I used to spend my Saturdays going down to watch my dad play. So the local rugby team where I'm from, Inverness, Craigdenane. So every Saturday my dad would have a game, so I'd be running up and down the sidelines wanting to get involved. And you built loads of good relationships with the team, and they all kind of took me under their wing. So that was the kind of first sense of that community and rugby family that I had, and I loved it. Every time he didn't have a game, I just wanted to be down at the rugby club, running up and down, going to the pub for the post-match stuff after, because you just felt so like different, because none of my friends were doing that on a Saturday. So it was nice. It was a nice environment. And my mum would take us to the shop, we'd get a fizzy juice, we'd get a bag of crisps and a sweetie. So it was just like a nice little day out on a Saturday.
I love that. I love that. I wish I had that. So just going I'm going to pull that up on my dad. Just like, why didn't I get a fizzy juice or a sweetie when I went to rugby?
I mean, every Saturday, that was my treat.
Oh yeah, I was definitely missing a step there. I'll keep that a note though.
I mean, I'm one of four, so it was probably the only way my mum could keep us under control. So
fair enough. It's just me, so
right.
Yeah, so maybe not. You've probably answered this question so many times, but how do you balance rugby and firefighting? Because they're both very tasking jobs within themselves. And you've decided I'll do both. It's fine.
I like a challenge. What can I say? Well, for me, joining the fire service was something I'd always wanted to do. I'd always wanted to join an emergency service. So when I had the opportunity to apply, I did. And then obviously it's quite hard to get in. The process is really long. So when I did, I was like, well, I need to make this work. So I just find a way, really. Sometimes it can be the summer, for example, last year. Really, really hot summer, really busy at work. So that's when balancing the two was quite difficult because, it was physically exhausting in every area of my life. Whereas obviously we come into the winter, it quietens down a little. You still got all your training for both, obviously in the drill yard, making sure we stay up to scratch, but physically it's a lot less. I think it's just, you just make it work. I don't really have any answer. I've got to do it, so I do it.
I mean, that's a fair answer, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah, true. But I want to, that's going to be my career for well past rugby. I've played rugby for 10 years now, getting on a little bit, obviously after 10 years in the women's squad. So, you just want to have that security after it. And I think that actually aids me playing better, knowing I've got that kind of distraction from rugby. So it's like that time away and my kind of downtime that I've got something else to focus on, because I like to be busy. I can't really sit still. Very, very rarely, you know, at home watching telly. I'll very much be like on the go. Even if I am at home, I'll be like, oh, the dishes need done or something needs done. You know, I'm constantly getting up and down. So yeah, I think having that makes me play better. I personally think so. That's why I want to balance both.
No, that's good, and I like the fact that you're driven for like your life after rugby as well. But you have got many, many years left in the rugby field. So
I hope so. I do hope so.
Don't worry about that. I'm glad you actually mentioned last summer, because obviously me and you met after the USA game.
Yeah.
And we were just having a conversation, and I don't know who she is. I'm guessing like one of the like team managers or something.
Oh, was that when I had a flight to catch and I just wouldn't leave?
So for those that don't know, me and Jade having a conversation at the Dam Health in Edinburgh. Well, I don't even think we were talking about rugby. I think we were just talking nonsense. And one of the team managers for Scottish Rugby came up and went, "Jade, taxi in 2 minutes." Now I was confused because I assumed you all got the team bus in. You did, but Jade was working down as a firefighter in London the very next morning. So played a full 80 minutes of rugby against the USA, got in a taxi to Edinburgh Airport, down to Heathrow, I think.
Yeah.
And then firefighter next morning. So
yeah.
I salute you for that.
I made my flight though, because I like, obviously when you're walking down after a game, I love talking to people. Like it's one of the highlights of my day, like thanking people for coming out, you know, saying hello, getting some pictures, like just like having that little interaction makes such a difference. So obviously because time was so pushed, like literally my taxi was in 2 minutes, my flight, I was already going to be late for checking in. Or like pushing the boundaries anyway. So any form of traffic would have messed that up. But they're like, right, Jade, you know, taxiing, like it started off like your taxi's here in 10 minutes, taxi's here in like 7 minutes. Right, Jade, we really need to get you in the changing room because you need to get changed because I'm still obviously full kit post-match. Okay, yeah, taxi in 2 minutes, you need to come. And then somebody's like, oh, can we just grab a quick picture? And I just can't say no. So like, yeah, like they're very good at trying to usher me to make sure that I'm everywhere that I need to be, but it is a challenge, especially when it's like so quick after a game, because I love to just spend time after a game and speak to people.
The taxi could wait.
The flight as well. The flight's got to wait for me.
Yeah, exactly. Just be that person. You can have that logic. I think it's like an old Lee Evans joke, like, but the plane won't leave without us. Yes, it will.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
We've actually got some fan questions coming in. Frankie has asked, she's actually managed to chuck in 3, so fair play to her for that.
Nice.
Do you have any advice for women wanting to get into the emergency services? And she actually wants to be a police officer, so.
Wow. For me, it just, I guess, do some research. If you can get down to your local stations wherever possible, especially like the emergency services, everyone's so welcoming. Like we'll be driving along and a police car will pass and we all wave, same as the ambulance, we all wave. So yeah, like everyone's really welcoming, friendly. So get down to your local station, go and ask some questions and do some research on it. And sometimes services have like cadet programs. I know the fire has fire cadets, army has army cadets. I'm not sure about the police, but they might have something. So yeah, just do some investigating and don't be afraid to go and say hello and pick their brains at the station.
I love that. I'm glad you actually mentioned the fire cadets, because I was a fire cadet.
Oh, were you?
Briefly.
Nice.
Well, I'm asthmatic, so I'm not allowed.
Right, got you.
Genuinely, I went for like the 2-3 weeks. Every week, I think it was like Dunfermline fire station or something, because they did the big one. And they're like, oh, does anyone have any medical conditions? Now, I didn't know what that meant at the time. So I was like, no, I'm good. And my dad's like, yeah, you do. I was like, what? He's like, you're asthmatic. And the firefighter heard it, went, you can't be a firefighter. I'm like, terrific.
Interesting.
You got to tell me that's a load of rubbish now, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know if that is still the case. But I don't know. I'd be surprised if it was, but I mean, don't quote me. I'm not sure.
That's fine. It's been 20 years. I'm over it. I'm not.
A lot of things have changed in 20 years, so maybe that's the case.
No, that's fine. Frankie's also asked, what's more stressful, preparing for the Six Nations or fighting fires?
Do you know what? That's a really tough one. I think both are, to be honest. Like, you'd be silly. Like, I get quite nervous before a game. Like, I've got my kind of routine that I do, and I do get pretty nervous and pretty quiet on game day morning. I'm pretty quiet on the bus, pretty quiet in the changing room. And then same at work. Like, when you get called to a fire and say it's like a big one, and like conditions are quite bad and you can't see your hand in front of your face, everyone has that kind of, I guess, sense of not panic, because we're all very calm, but it makes you think a bit, and it can be quite stressful. So I think it's kind of hard to pick between the two, to be honest, which is bizarre because saving lives and playing rugby, they come hand in hand. So yeah, that's a tough one, but I genuinely say both. Obviously I played rugby for a long time now, but I still get super nervous, and I think that's a good thing. Like, it shows that I care. And same for work. Like, as soon as you become complacent, that's when you have a problem. So yeah, you have those moments where you're like, oh, okay, right, I'm gonna go in there, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I'm gonna go for both. Can't pick between the two.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'm glad the whole nervous thing, because like I've spoke to you for over a year now on Messenger, and like obviously when I see you in person, we'll have a little catch up. See, the minute it comes up like Jade Konkel-Roberts has joined the call, I'm sort of like, oh. I do it all the time. It doesn't matter who it is. I could talk to you forever on social media or in person, but as soon as it's like they're coming on to record, and as soon as it comes up, their name's added to the call, I'm like, oh god.
We're all human. We're all human.
We are, absolutely. And Frankie's final question for you: which Harlequins teammate would be the best firefighter?
Oh, that's a good one, to be honest. Well, Sarah Bonner is obviously in the Royal Air Force, so she's got military experience. So I think she'd be really good.
Yeah.
The Aussies, they've got potential these days.
It's true. Yeah.
Put them on. Do you know somebody that I think would bring a really good vibe to the fire service would be Langi Shuima.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think like she's always fun, she's excited, but she puts hard graft in when it needs to happen, and I think she'd be a good addition to the team.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. That's good. I love the fact that you mentioned Sarah Bonner as well, because she could bring the vibes as well.
Oh, she always brings the vibes. There's not a day that goes by where she doesn't bring the vibes.
She's just.
I'm meeting her for a coffee this afternoon, actually.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I could do with that coffee. Now, obviously, when we had Ellie Kildunn on, I asked you to try and stitch her up, and there was nothing from it.
No, nothing.
Well, your teammates aren't so generous. I'm going to tell you something, and then you have to guess who said it.
Right.
I have to ask about your secret dance moves.
My secret dance moves.
And I was like, so I said, what makes them secret? And apparently it's because you come across so sweet and innocent.
I am sweet and innocent.
I don't shoot the messenger. I've just been told to mention it.
Nice. Does that come from Jodie Retty by any chance?
No, it wasn't Jodie Retty. No.
Jodie Retty. No. Wow. Oh.
Maybe. Okay, I'll let you have one more guess, and then I'll.
Rachel McLachlan.
No, but no, that would be fun. No, it was Lana Skeldon.
Oh wow. Okay. My secret dance moves. I partake on the background of TikTok, not the inside of TikTok normally. So.
Okay, that's fine. To be fair, see when I tell people.
Well, I was going to say we did do this kind of catwalk thing, and the dance moves came out, but just to chuck Lana Skeldon under the bus as she won that day.
Oh, okay.
That's much better than mine.
That's very surprising. I would not expect that from Lana. But that's fine. We've got Dara on her as well now, so it's all good. I've lost my train of thought there because I can't imagine Lana Skeldon doing a dance competition. Jemma, one of our co-hosts, has asked, if you were a back for one game, what position would you play?
Wow. Well, it would have to be 12, wouldn't it? Crash ball 12.
Yeah, I would say so. That would make sense.
Yeah, but then I guess fullbacks have a lot of space to run in. I don't have a lot of space to run in, so it'd be nice to mix it up a little bit.
I was going to say, because, I mean, your stats are freakish in the nicest way, but I mean that in the nicest way possible. Like, I've heard, like, the meters you make is basically the equivalent to, like, an outside centre. And you've got less meters to actually...
I mean, I have a wall every time.
Exactly.
A wall, and I feel the wall every time. It's not a case of, I just, rack up those stats. I feel it. The next day, I feel it. But yeah, it would be nice to have a bit more space. I'm not going to lie.
It's almost a cheat code if we give you more space.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, then I'd have to get faster as well. So it's part and parcel. That defence in the back, it's a lot. It's a lot of space you've got to cover.
You could always just kick and hope.
Oh, that's Sarah Bonner's era, not mine.
I've seen that. I've seen that. I like that.
Well, I've got that 50-22. I've never seen something so beautiful.
It was on the touchline as well. She didn't have much space either. So
the thing was, I ended up playing 9 for that split moment, and all I heard was, so she calls me Jade quite a lot. So she was like, Jade left. So like, just eyes up, seeing her, and then there's me and her running down the wing, and I'm like, she's like, her legs are long. She's like taking off. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to catch her. And I was like, how am I going to get there? Because I'm obviously the closest person. And then she booted it. And I was like, thank you. And then I was like, good, at least we've got time to then obviously like usher up and kind of close down the space. And then it went into touch. And I was like, what a gal.
Some effort. Yeah, like I've seen you share it. I've seen Sarah share it. I think some of the other Scotland girls shared it. And I kept watching. I'm like, she's on like the tram lines and catches it perfectly. And
yeah, it was lovely. However, for about 3 games after that, she kicked at least once, and we're like, right, you've had your time, stop now. And yeah, she has. But never say never. Sometimes it works. Maybe she'll put it back in. We actually at Quins, we have a theme of random forwards kicking every so often. Mix it up, If you can, you can, but I will not be doing that.
I was just going to say, you're going to be doing that.
I think the ball would end up behind me.
I did that once, and people still mention it.
Yeah, or I'd grub her and I'd miss the ball, so.
Grubbers are tricky though, because then you have to actually
yeah.
I feel like there's more timing in it. I don't know. There's probably a 10 out there that's like ears have just exploded listening to us talking about that.
I mean, I'll focus what I'm good at and I'll let them do the kicking.
Exactly, yeah. And what you're good at is like top tier. So there you go.
Thank you.
Harvey, one of the co-hosts as well, he's asked a more social question. He's asked, who's the best drinker at Quins?
Who's the best drinker?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't really drink, so I never I don't go out on a lot of the nights out, to be honest. Not that there are a lot, but when they do, I'm like a 1 a year show face kind of gal. Best drinker.
I'm trying to think.
Bryony Cleals shone through as a good, good party. Good
Fair.
party gal. Yeah. So we'll go for Bryony at the moment.
Yeah, I like that.
Probably something good, like Emma Swords. She's another good one, actually. Emma Swords.
I would have said Ellie just because when we had her on, she said she's got a party trick, but she wouldn't tell us what the party trick is. Do you know what the party trick is?
Oh, I can't say I've seen the party trick. So I've actually only ever seen Ellie drink once as well. It's
gonna rack my brain till I see her in person. I'll
have to investigate.
Well, because she said somebody chucked the question like, "Oh, what's your party trick?" And she went, "No, I can't say that." And I was like, "Why? What? Like, how bad can it be?" And even when we stopped recording, I was like, "Right, God, what is it?" And she went, "That's fine. It doesn't matter." I was like,
"Interesting. I'll do some investigating. I'll do some digging."
I'm gonna get a message from Jade one day just as this, and I'll just be like, "Oh no."
It's probably gonna be so anticlimactic as well.
I know, it's probably going to I could open a bottle of beer off a table. Oh, cool. It's just all about angles then. Obviously, you're now in part of the first batch of players in Scotland to get full-time professional contracts.
Yeah.
massive congratulations on that, and it's well deserved. Long overdue, in my opinion. What's next for women's rugby?
Well, obviously, like the contracts that have come in just now, absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, a lot of players will get to spend more time on rugby, which will develop us all individually to then hopefully come together and, be a stronger collective. I think we need to stay on this positive trajectory. This is the first step, and I think it's going to come down to, playing more games, all playing, a higher league of rugby week in, week out. Like, I think there's something ridiculous, like 24 of 28 all play in the Allianz Premiership, which is incredible, because then you're going to be playing more competitive games week in, week out. So I think it's keeping that kind of like good games going, and then also just the kind of coverage is getting better, and that makes a massive effort into younger players wanting to play. And that'll just keep growing the game as well. So I think everything that's currently happening, but just needs to happen for longer, but we're on the right tracks.
Absolutely. I've been saying it for about a year and a half now, that just pay them, just pay the girls. And I know there's a lot more dynamic into that, and it's not as easy as that sounds. But sometimes when you look into it, yeah, it is. It is that easy. There was one, I'm not naming or anything, but we looked into one. I think we actually mentioned it in an episode. And there was this much money available, yet this team was struggling. I'm like,
yeah.
What? And we all just kind of sat like, that doesn't add up.
Yeah, I don't know the politics of it, but obviously really grateful that they've now come out with this. So hopefully by the next World Cup there'll be a big difference. Like, nothing's going to happen overnight. Like, you can't just give contracts and that's it, we're going to win the next Six Nations. Like, that's not the way it works. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully, year on year, we're just going to keep building with these, because like, as much as we're now being invested in, all the other nations are being invested in too.
Yes.
Everyone's on the up. It's not just us. So it's still trying to compete whilst everyone has more resources. So we couldn't not then get contracted, because then we just fall further and further and further behind. But now I think it's going to happen where everyone catches up, which is what we want. Absolutely.
I think this year's Six Nations is going to be very interesting, because it is the first professional Six Nations. And then you can see where everyone's at and then where they're going to go. And obviously, like, England and France have already been professional for good...
Quite a long time.
Too long. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and I genuinely cannot wait. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I love women's rugby. It's different to the guys. I feel like it's a totally different sport.
Yeah.
And you play more ball in hand, and I love that. You're not kick and chase, or kick tennis as people refer to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep that going. I love high tempo rugby.
Oh, don't worry. I hate it. When I see the backs kick, I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get the point of kicking. I get the territory game. But there's nothing worse when you've just worked your butt off, and then all of a sudden it kicks. Then it kicks back, and then you kick again. And I'm like, I'm not here to play shuttles.
Yeah, I would just stand there like, once you've decided what's happening, then we can go.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, like, I understand the kicking game and I respect it, and I get that that's a part of the game. But yeah, I'm very much let's just play.
Just play. Yeah, and if it doesn't work, then start kick. Yeah, use it as a fall. Yeah, I'm the exact same as you. Just briefly, I want to talk about the World Cup quickly, just because it was our first one in 12 years. How was your whole experience in New Zealand?
Yeah, really good. Obviously for me as well, like, I've been in the squad. I first started training with Scotland in 2012, got capped in 2013. So I've missed the 2 World Cups prior to this. We tried to qualify, we failed. We tried to qualify, we failed. So then to finally qualify third time for me was just a dream come true. Obviously, from having trained for the last 10 years with the team, trying to get to a World Cup, it was a bit, like some weight off the shoulders when we finally did it. It still kind of felt surreal, that kind of 10 years had paid off, and that we were going to a World Cup in New Zealand, with a cracking pool as well. Like, we'd never played Australia, we'd never played like New Zealand, anyone in the squad. So yeah, it was really exciting. exciting to obviously like go and play rugby in New Zealand because that's what it's renowned for. And just the kind of experience, like, yes, it would have been better if, we'd come away with some wins, but ultimately we competed at the end of the day with Wales and Australia. We didn't know what to expect with Australia. So for it to be so close, there's lots of learnings that could be taken from that. And I think we can just grow from that. Like, we've now participated in a World Cup and competed to an extent, but I think that bodes well for 2025. We hopefully qualify and then we compete even further, and then it's just a stepping stone like that.
No, I love that. That's spot on. I mean, I was up at like, I don't know, 3, 4 in the morning whenever the games were on.
Yeah.
You could see it. I was like, obviously not the New Zealand game because that's
New Zealand. They won the World Cup.
That's New Zealand, yeah. Yeah, you got to be by the world champion. It's one of them ones like, oh no, they lost to the world champions.
Yeah, I mean, the frustrating one at that is the second half was significantly better than the first. If we played the way we did in the second half throughout, the score would have been a little bit more sympathetic. I think, we got a bit of a shock to the system in that first half, which is something we need to take control of as a team. But because that has now happened, we can hopefully learn from that to stop that happening in the future.
You learn from your mistakes, exactly. That's it. How was it facing the haka in New Zealand though?
Yeah, really cool. They're like, you can't break eye contact. You need to just like stare in the same place. And I was like, okay. And when I was watching it, I was more fascinated. Like, it wasn't like oh wow, like it was intimidating, but it wasn't like, oh wow, this is super intimidating. It was more like, this is so cool. Yeah, if that makes sense. Like, it was all just a bit surreal, which was awesome. So yeah, I loved it. I
think the bit that caught me off guard this year, especially with the Black Ferns haka opposed to the All Black haka, obviously if it's like challenge accepted, you march towards them. Yeah. The Black Ferns didn't give you that up. They marched to everyone in the World Cup, and I'm like, oh, that's new.
Yeah, so we did go up 10, but then they obviously come towards as well, which is cool because then you actually end up closer, because when it's like the far away is what it used to be, because now you can actually go up to the halfway line, whereas before you could only go up to the 10. So now that you can go up to the halfway, you're actually a lot closer, and I think that's where it felt so much like more intense, which is what you want.
Did you ever think that when you were going forward, like, yes, we've got this, and then they start coming to you, like, oh, wait a minute, wait, no.
No, like, we knew they were going to come forward, so it was all good. We were prepared.
Fair enough. Just before we go into something else, can you quickly tell our listeners and viewers about this new, I want to call it like the Celtic League, the thing that's like before the Women's Six Nations?
I don't know too much about it, to be honest. Obviously, I'm based in England. This is more for the Scotland-based players.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure, to be honest. Like, I think some other players might be called in for it, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know that obviously it's got Ireland included and Wales as well.
Yeah, I think it's just a Celtic, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
That's fine. It's just because I got tickets for it, and it was like they were trying to describe it and when you were purchasing it, and I was like, sounds like a development thing.
Yeah, like, I think it would be good because then, like, the more Scottish-based players or players that aren't getting a lot of game time week in, week out would hopefully then be able to play slightly higher rugby. Like,
competition, yeah.
Yeah, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. I probably should know this because I've had some emails and stuff about it, but I'll need to go back and read them further.
I'll just agree with you. It's all good.
Yeah. It'll be cool. I think it's class, like, that they're branching into different nations as well, and I think that's another way that you're going to grow the game, and that everybody's growing, not just the ones, because not everyone can move down south, and not everyone wants to move down south. So hopefully that then starts to bring more people back into Scotland, and builds it that way.
Yeah, no, totally agree, and I think the whole plan is like at least 2 semi-professional teams.
Yeah.
So that tells me Edinburgh and Glasgow.
I mean, I presume so, but
I would go with that.
No, my heart's with the North. The North is where it's at.
I was just going to say, should just Scotland in general have... There's always rumours of the third team. And the question is then, like, Highlands or Borders.
Yeah. Who knows?
don't know. It's a tricky one, but it's above my pay grade. So
It's well above mine too.
we're going to go into something a little bit different now. We're going to get to know all about Jade. So it's nothing really rugby based. It's all just about you. So what is your favourite? I know you're not a big drinker, but what's your favourite like social drink if you are out?
A mojito.
Oh, okay. Doesn't go out much, but likes a mojito.
Yeah, because I don't go out much, I'm like, well, I want to, spruce out and drink what I enjoy.
Yeah.
I like a little mojito.
Nothing wrong with that. That's the leaf one, isn't it?
Yeah, like the minty, rummy one. And then Genius Brew, actually. I've had some of their stuff before, which is quite nice.
Had some at Christmas, actually. That was a surprise pack from my mum. So me and my dad split it, and it was quite I'm not a big fan of the IPA one.
Okay, I've not tried that one.
Well, I don't think I liked it. I like the lager. The lager one was nice, and the nice cold can. So
yeah,
nice. that was pretty cool. Is there anything you binge watch on Netflix or recommend on Netflix? Or
we watched I think called One of Us Is Lying. That was quite good. It's like a high school drama where somebody dies and then they're trying to figure out who did it. The typical rubbish thing you watch. I binge watched quite a bit. Oh, Wednesday Addams, love that.
I've seen. Yeah, I know you love that. I've seen your dance on it. Don't worry.
I got forced into that by my 11-year-old niece. So
I'm sure you got forced into it. It's fine. Everyone's done it. I've not filmed it, but I have sat I've heard it, and I've just kind of
started to move.
Yeah, it's catchy.
It's very catchy.
But it's not even the song that's from the show. That's the bit that makes it better. It's not even the song.
I know. I actually didn't realize that, and then I was like scrolling on TikTok, and then I was like, "Oh, it is different," which is funny.
Only TikTok would do that. Like, yeah, look, it's from this show. I'm like, yeah, the dance is, the song isn't.
Yeah, but I mean, it works both ways.
It does work both ways, absolutely. What's your favourite song or style of music?
I really like just chill acoustic music, like any form of just like chilled song, like the ones you listen to when you're like drinking a coffee or first thing in the morning, like just calm, chilled.
Nice. Any certain songs or artists that you like to chill out to?
I've got a playlist. It's got over like 700 songs of chill songs in it, and I just play it on random all the time.
I love that.
My partner always says, "Do we have to listen to your music? 'Cause it's all sad." I was like, "It's not sad. It's just calm.
It's chilled.
Chilled. That's what we like."
But it could be sad. Some of them could be sad.
Yeah. And then on game day, it's more upbeat. So yeah, like I've got a very eclectic taste of music. I like pretty much everything.
Yeah, if it's a good song, you'll listen to it.
What I listen to more is the chilled stuff, more frequently.
That's nothing wrong with that. Love that. And every time we ask someone this, it's always a different answer.
Nice.
Which is why we keep it in.
I never know what people really expect me to listen to, because obviously, like, I'm quite like a physical player. Like, I'm covered in tattoos, and I'm like the most chilled, laid back person ever.
That's true, actually. I think I might have misjudged you the first time we met as well.
Most people do.
Because I think you walked past and I was just like, "Oh, Jade, could we get a picture?" Like, yeah, of course. I was like, okay. I wasn't, obviously, I'm not complaining. Like, I'm really bad for misjudging people.
Yeah, like quite a lot of people are like, "Oh, I just expect you to be really scary." I was like, "Me? Scary? Absolutely not. I'm the biggest teddy bear around."
Yeah, I can absolutely vouch for that. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Don't know why I keep this in. Nobody picks cats.
To be fair, like I like animals. I'm not a huge animal person though. I've got no time. Like I wouldn't be able to have time to have a dog.
Oh right, yeah,
You know
okay.
what I mean? So like I'm not like disheartened that I can't have a dog anytime soon in my life.
To be fair, I don't want a dog anytime soon.
Yeah.
No, I've got a little boy, and my mum and dad's dog and him like work together to annoy me.
Nice.
Like, they stand in the stupidest of places. They'll stand in the middle of the kitchen, and if one's acting up, the other wants my attention, and I'm just like, "Yous are doing this on purpose." It's like dynamic duo. So no, I'm not getting a dog. hate to burst his bubble, but that's not happening.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe when he's like 8 or 9 and he could actually like, help me walk it.
Yeah, fair.
That's a fair deal.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's your favourite film?
Moulin Rouge.
Oh, I got made to watch. Maybe because I got made to watch it at school, I was like, this makes no sense.
No, I absolutely love Moulin Rouge, but then I like other ones like A Star Is Born, Southpaw. Really liked Southpaw. We want a more like sporty.
The Jake Gyllenhaal one, yeah.
Yes, yeah, loved that. Dirty Dancing, big fan of Dirty Dancing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I get made to watch that like at least once a month.
Nice. Moulin Rouge is the top though, for sure.
That is the Ewan McGregor and
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
Yeah, it was that one I got made to watch. We had to watch it at school, and because we got made to watch it, nobody was interested.
Yeah.
But I still was like,
it's a bit of a random movie as well.
Yeah, I think the bit that caught me off was like they're all lovey-dovey, they're singing a song, and then he's dead. I'm like, what? How's he dead? What happened there? What have I missed?
So she dies. Clearly you weren't paying attention. Come on.
I failed drama. Fine. It looked like he died from the bit I remember. And it's like she's holding someone and
it's the opposite.
I'm just writing my own film at this point.
You are. Get Ewan McGregor into it, it'd be a hit. It's fine.
But that's true, actually. Ewan McGregor's got a wide range.
He does.
From Trainspotting to Star Wars to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put anything to make it make sense. What is your, well, I'll say honeymoon. Where's your dream honeymoon?
So we actually are going to do the North Coast 500 like properly.
Oh, nice.
Like climb a lot of mountains, like do it properly. But also we really want like a beach holiday. So just somewhere simple like Greece. Something like that. Not too far away. Nice place. I think, yeah, it'd be nice to go there. Hot. Fine.
Mojitos at the beach.
Mojitos on the beach. Love it.
Yeah, sounds ideal. I love that. Who is your dream back row partner? So obviously you'll be at number 8. Who's your blind side? Who's your open side? You could pick one on each side, past and present. You never have had to play with them as well.
That's really tough.
I know. I like these questions.
I loved watching Donna Kennedy play, so she'd have to be in there. Donna Kennedy, good old legend of the game. So I'd probably have to put her to 6, to be honest.
Fine. 6. So you get another 6 from present day as well.
Another 6 from present day. Oh, got a good partnership at the moment at Quins. Katie Mew, class, absolutely class.
Love that.
For her, she's just back from injury, so yeah, we're gonna go for Katie Mew.
That's fair. And then you've got past and present on the open side as well.
Gosh, I don't really know much about open sides. Too fast for me. 7s. So back in the day, I played with Tess Forsberg. So she played for Scotland back in the day. She played 7 when I first joined. So I thought she was unreal. So we'll go for Tess.
That's fair. Yeah, I like that. And anyone from present?
Present. I'm trying not to go for the obvious ones. This is the thing. Like I could obviously straight into Scotland, could have said the Rachels, could have said Lou, but I'm trying to go like a little bit not predictable.
More conservative, yeah.
Yeah. 7.
You can go predictable if you want. If you really want to, you can go predictable.
Well, now that I've not said one Rach, can't go around and say the other, can I?
I don't know if you listen to this, so you probably
you might. Another 7, a present 7. We'll go for Jodie Retty, just because she always brings good vibes.
There you go. See, no Rachels for heart.
They weren't. Also, Retty plays hooker mostly, but she has come on at 7 recently, so that's why we're just going to go for her.
Oh, she's one of the hybrid players.
Yeah.
Show off. Favourite style of food or food cuisine? I kind of write that as the same thing. I don't know if they're
like
two
Thai food.
Thai food?
Yeah, go for Thai.
What's your go-to meal from Thai?
Right now, I really like a tofu and cashew nut Stir fry.
Oh, nice. Can't be a stir fry. They're so easy.
Yeah, just
Oh,
vegetables, some soy sauce. Happy days.
happy, exactly. It's nice and easy. And if you cook too much, there's your meal prep sorted as well.
Perfect. Perfect.
Exactly. Favorite pizza topping? If you're a big pizza eater.
I don't really like cheese.
You don't have to have cheese on it.
Okay.
I know.
Do you know what? Sweet corn. Sweet corn. Loved sweet corn on a pizza back in the day.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I love the answers that catch me off guard. That's what we keep it. That's why we keep it natural as well.
Really well, yeah. That's just salt. Have you ever had sweet corn on a pizza?
No.
Then you need to have it.
Probably, yeah, like at school and all that. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But if I'm going out to buy a pizza, I wouldn't put sweet corn on it.
I used to always order it with sweet corn. That was a given.
Fair enough. I mean, I like sweet corn and I like corn on the cob, but it's just one thing I've never.
Try it and let me know how it changes your life.
See at the Six Nations, just like, by the way, spot on. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh, each to their own. If you like it, you like it. I personally wouldn't, just because I think it makes it a little bit wet.
I've never thought of it like that.
Bit soggy. But if you like that, you like that. I like pineapple to be very much a fruit rather than on a savoury thing.
I like it as juice. I'm not even keen on it as a fruit. I like pineapple juice. I like tropical juice. And that's about as far as it goes with eating pineapples.
Yeah.
The other one that I learned, and it's a more Southern Hemisphere thing, is they put pineapples on their burgers.
Yeah, like you get that in some of like the Brazilian restaurants and stuff. They all like grill pineapple. It's actually really nice.
I might have to try it. The amount of guests we've had that's like, just try it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just put me off, like knowing it's pineapple. I feel like the knowing it's pineapple is the problem.
Well, it must be nice for quite a lot of the population to eat it. I mean, like, it mustn't be that weird.
It can't be that bad yet. It's probably just me being awkward.
It's like back in the day when people used to say they used to dip chips into a McFlurry. Bizarre.
I've tried it. It's all right. I wouldn't. It's very sickening. You couldn't do it all the time.
But then, I mean, we're Scottish. We fry everything. There's like a battered pizza.
Deep fry everything.
Madness. Absolute madness.
Have you had a deep fried Mars bar by any chance?
Years ago, only so then I could say I've tried it and it was horrific.
I didn't mind it, but you can only have 2, maybe 3 in a lifetime. Like, you can't have that constantly. It's not
healthy.
There's a chip shop near, where I'm from, and they just used to have a sweetie range, and you got to pick, and they would deep fry. I'm like, you're making it weird now.
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't even like chocolates you would think of it. It's like deep fried Boost bars, and I'm like, what? No, I'm like, nobody's wanting this.
No.
It's fine. It's all good. Have you got any hobbies away from rugby?
Not really. Between work and rugby, I don't have much time for much else. Like, I like to read, especially like it's my New Year's resolution to just read more. So like minimum 15 minutes a day, which I've done so far. So
Well done, you.
Thanks. Obviously, if it ends up being more than that, if I have a bit of time, then yeah, great. But as long as like at least 15 minutes a day, whether that's before bed, first thing in the morning, at some point in the day, perfect. It's not on a phone. It's got to be paper.
Okay, so like old, not a Kindle.
I don't have a Kindle, so yeah.
I don't get it.
I like the change in the paper.
It's like all this technology now that's like, you could write on a phone. Like, paper. You're going back the way now, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some features you get now, I'm like, we already had that. You're just making it light up.
Yeah.
Cool. It's not technological. If it could light up, I could put a bit of paper over a light.
Yeah.
Simple. If there was going to be a film on your life or career, who would play you in the film?
So somebody asked me this before and I didn't have an answer, so I ended up saying like the bearded lady from The Greatest Showman. Yeah, I have no other. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like. Do you know when you ask that question, you like all form of celebrities just disappear out your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was the first one that came to my brain. Don't know why.
You could do better than that, Jade.
Well, who would you say?
Why'd you ask me that?
See, all celebrities gone out the brain.
I'm trying to think, because do you want them just to be a good actor, or do you want them to look like you?
I don't mind. There needs to be some similarities. Like you'd be able to like. I mean, you can't have them as like.
I think on just pure, like, ass kicking abilities, I would go. I don't know her actual name. She's in the Fast and Furious films. The one that plays Letty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
just out of pure like ass kicking ability. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
We'll go her.
I'll take that. Do you know, I'm really gonna have to find an answer to that question because I'm asked it a few times.
I'm more annoyed that people are asking this and it's not me. I thought it was a very unique way.
I can't remember who asked me it, but I didn't live it down, that's for sure.
It's one of those ones, like, this is the stuff I'll remember more. I'll not, like, obviously, like, everything you've said before the getting to know you thing is very great, informative, but on a personal level, I'll remember, like, she likes chilled out music.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's stuff like that that is why I keep doing it. I'm still trying to think of an actress. I might have to just message you one.
Yeah, fine.
I can't ask if you have tattoos because we all know you've got tattoos.
We have a lot.
Are you planning on getting any more tattoos?
Probably. Not at this present moment, but never say never.
Maybe get like I don't know why I always try and give people ideas. I'm not an artist or anything. Maybe get like a fern because you were in New Zealand.
Yeah, I already got a New Zealand one as well.
Never mind.
I got it in New Zealand.
Oh, you all went for a tattoo, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, most of us got something. Yeah.
So what did you get then?
I got Kia Kaha written on my arm, which means like be strong.
I like that. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Final question for you today, Jade. One thing you'd like to be remembered for?
One thing I'd like to be remembered for is probably that I'll always give everything on the pitch. So no matter what, I'll always give absolutely everything I have on and off the pitch, to be honest. And just like I like this saying, I can't remember it exactly, but it's like people won't remember what you do, people won't remember what you said, but people will always remember how you made them feel. And I think if I can leave the game knowing that I made everyone feel good in a way, whenever kind of whatever interaction I had with them, and it was always a positive one, for me, I think that's really important.
I love that. That's so good. And book is now shut. You've absolutely smashed it, Jade. And I can't thank you enough for agreeing to come on.
No, thank you for finally having me on. I'm glad.
And
honestly, you should see my color-coded calendar. It's literally ridiculous.
I mean, I felt special when you're like, oh, it's in the calendar. I was like, I get like a reminder half an hour before, like for the Zoom link, like, oh, you got a meeting. I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
Nice.
I'm obviously a bit more organized than that, but it just comes up like,
yeah.
I can't swipe it away. It just stays on my phone till I open it. I'm like, I get it. I've got a meeting. It's fine.
Yeah. Nice.
But can't thank enough. All the best for the rest of the year. I know you'll be in the Six Nations.
Hopefully.
No, not hopefully. I know you'll be in the Six Nations. And we'll see you at the Dam, because all 3 games are at Edinburgh, which just makes sense, because it's better than Scotstoun. But no, it's going to be great. It's going to be entertaining. You're going to make up some stupid stats, and we might even let you drop back and give you those meters at throwback.
Maybe one day.
Not with official 15, just
no, like drop back every so often.
Drop back a bit, yeah.
It happens now and again, so
yeah, just absolutely go for it. And yeah, I honestly cannot thank you enough, and it's definitely been worth the wait.
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Brilliant. This has been The Final Whistle with Jade Konkel, and we will see you next time.